Okay, let's do a couple more. I bet, you know, actually you've probably done enough, haven't you? So dump these, shake everything off. Thank goodness for that. Sorry about that, we lost internet. Gosh. Okay, so now we've done that, which was a balance, and it was a hard work balance. We're just going to do a nice easy balance now, but a vital one. So put one foot exactly in front of the other. Arms out to help with your balance. Strong arms. Engage your core, everything. When you're ready, close your eyes and count. We hope you can get to 15 or 20. Keep going. Keep going. This is all about chronological age and your body's age. So if you can do this with your eyes closed for 15 seconds, you can knock a few years off your chronological age. Now, of course, shake it off. And we have to do it on the other side. So in Pilates, we always do some balances. It's vital, off you go, same with the other side. It's vital that we practice our balance, because if we don't, we lose it. Use it or lose it. Strong core, shoulders down and back, don't let them creep up. Eyes closed, keep breathing. Keep breathing. And relax it down. Well done. Right, we're going to do a good stretch now, and it's a stretch for the hamstrings. Come into a crouch with your hands on the floor. What we're going to do is leave the hands on the floor, leave the head down, straighten the legs, pushing the heels into the floor. Now if you have tight hamstrings, you won't be able to straighten your legs. So I've got my hands on the floor here, but I can actually straighten my legs because I don't have tight hamstrings. So then we're going to come back down into a crouch and back up. We're going to do this 10 times. And by the 10th time, you will probably be a lot more supple. It's also a workout for the knees. So you want to see it from the front. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hear all my knees creaking there. So then just shaky, shaky, shaky. And come back down. So the next exercise is quite a powerful one. It's plank into press-ups. Now some of my clients can do press-ups on their knees. Some can do a halfway house press-up. So what we're going to do, the exercise is down dog. So I have my 2 feet hip distance apart, and I'm spreading the weight evenly between each foot and each hand. So if you notice, I'm in an upside down triangle. I'm easing my feet towards my heels towards the floor. Then I come forward into what's high plank, or the top of the press-up. I can put my knees down, go down into a presser, back up, into down dog. Forward into high plank. If you don't need to put your knees down, you can go all the way down into press up, all the way back into down dog. I think most people will be putting their knees on the floor, down into a press up, all the way back up, into down dog. Some of you can do the halfway house, where you go down to the floor with no knees, and then you leave your knees on the floor to push up. That's what I call a halfway house. Very powerful, very strong move. You get a nice rest after this. Still breathing. Rest when you need to. I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to come back onto my knees into child pose for a nice rest. Whew. Anytime you need a drink, grab a drink. Okay, I promised you a rest. We'll have a rest now. The next one is purely shoulder mobility. Lying on the floor, arms out to a T, and then bring the arms up so they're at right angles. So if I was lying on the floor, my arms would be in this position. And as you inhale, you're going to take them along the floor all the way up. So if you can see, they go all the way up, keeping the backs of my hands on the floor, keeping the backs of my forearms on the floor. It's a good stretch for the shoulders. And as some of my clients know, if you do this up against a wall, it's also a very big power move. So you'd be leaning up against the wall and you'd be sliding your hands up the wall, sliding them back down. Okay? So that's quite a powerful move, but I did promise you a rest, which is why we're doing it on the floor. The next move, leave your elbows exactly pinned to the floor and bring the palms of the hands up and over as far as you can. Most of my clients can reach the floor, but not everybody can. So this is actually quite relaxing. But it's really good for shoulder mobility. Again, if you don't keep yourself mobile, you will stiffen up, and by the time you're in your 60s, 70s and 80s, you won't be able to move. Brilliant. Well done. So of course, while we're here, we need to do the 100. The 100 is the toughest Pilates core move, I think. And you crack on. Those of you who know what you're doing, crack on. Those of you that don't, you've got your knees up to the ceiling, arms down by your side. Belly button to spine, it's vital, belly button to spine. Pick one knee up to tabletop. So if you've got your knee close to your chest, that's cheating. You need your knee just over your hip. Take it back down and take the other one up. How does that feel? Can you do that without your belly lifting or your back lifting off the floor? If you can, you take one leg to tabletop, belly button to spine, take the other leg to tabletop. Bring the head and shoulders up, and we're going to beat the arms 100 times. Keep breathing though. So in for 4, out for 4. Now I know a lot of you this is too easy, so remember you can have your legs here, or here, or here, or here. So you do your 100. I can't see you, I don't know how good you are, but I suspect if you don't do Pilates and you try and do this, you're probably going to hurt your back. So just come out of it, bring it back up, one leg to tabletop, other leg to tabletop, head and shoulders here. If it hurts your neck, you can put your one hand behind and support it. If this is too tough for you, you can do it with one leg at a time. Do 10 and then change. So there's a 100 for everybody. Okay, so you have to choose. And when you move up a level, from say this level to this level, or this level to this level, you probably won't be able to do the 100. You'll probably start doing 100 at this level, and then when you go to the harder level, you might have to go down to 50 beats, and then build up again until you're doing 100, and then when you're doing 100 there, you might do 50 here, and then build up again. Okay, so when you finish your 100, you've earned a rest. So you pull both knees tight into your chest and roll around. It's hard work, that one, isn't it? Okay, while we're here, we're going to do one for the hip. So, we always do a mini one first. So, arms out to a T till they're out of the way. I've got my leg to tabletop, foot flex. I'm just going to draw a small circle with my knee. So it's not a movement of the knee, it's a movement of the hip. So my leg stays at 90 degrees. Just do 3 each way, just to make sure everything's okay, nothing's hurting. Change sides, 3 each way. While you're doing this, make sure, can you feel if your belly is managing to stay there? If it is managing to stay there, then you can upgrade this, progress it, upgrade it, make it more difficult. Have a straight leg. So we are actually going to do 6 each way. So you do as big a circle as you can, without your back coming off the floor at all, keeping your belly tight, pelvic floor lifted. Shoulders are having a rest. Oh, somebody's just sent me a message. Keep going. Hi, Amy. Okay. So you make as big a movement as you can. You might hit clunking. Clunking's fine, don't worry about clunking. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same the other way. So go as big as you can without any pain. Keep that breath rate going, 4 beats in through the nose, 4 beats out through the mouth. And you notice I've got my foot flexed, and the reason I've got my foot flexed, if I point my toes, I'm missing a trick. By having my foot flexed, I'm getting a stretch all down the back of the leg. Okay, now change legs. So you're doing 8 one way, that's 1. This is the right speed. 2, 3, 4. Making sure your back is staying on the floor, belly button to spine, shoulders are relaxed. So doing it at this speed, you're not using any momentum. If you were flinging your leg round, you'd be using momentum instead of muscle power. So that's why we do it at this speed. Now change 8 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Brilliant. Hug your knees into your chest, roll around on your spine. So the next exercise is a bit of a killer, or it can be. So if you're new to it, I want everybody to do this stretch first. So I've got my knees together, feet together, arms out to a T. Inhale, and as you exhale, take the knees over to one side, keeping your knees tight together. So there's no good here, you want them tight together. So you might not make it to the floor. And then come all the way back up to the ceiling and off to the other side. So if anybody has any back issues, this is a really, really good stretch for your back without hurting yourself. So you wouldn't go into pain, you go up to not into pain. So if you've got any back issues, you can carry on doing that. But if you haven't and you want to turn it into a power move, take one leg to tabletop, belly button to spine, other leg to tabletop, and now you can take the whole lot over, keeping the shoulders on the floor, and back up, and off to the other side, and back up. And some of you, if that's too easy, the longer the lever, the harder it is. It's all about physics. So now you can take the whole lot over, as a lot of my clients will be doing, all the way back up, and off to the other side. Keeping the shoulders on the floor. Keep the breath rate going, keep the core engaged, keep the feet flexed so you're getting a stretch all down the back of the legs. If this gets tough now, you can go back to here. And if you've had enough, you could go back to a stretch. It's up to you, but let's keep going a little bit, if we can. Rest when you need to. Just see how many calories I'm burning. I've already burnt 111 calories. Again, you notice the speed. If I was just to be letting my legs drop, I'm using momentum, but I'm not doing that. I'm using my whole power and control and precision. Okay, I'm going to do one more on each side. And then I'd like everybody to do a stretch before we finish this exercise. So to finish with the stretch, bring the knees, I've moved, bring the knees back together, take the knees over to one side, look across the opposite hand and relax, relax, relax. This is your rest, but it's not just doing nothing, it's a good relaxing, stretching rest. And now this top knee, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit towards the opposite hand. Just to stretch the bum and the outer thigh. Now slide them back together. Bring them up to the ceiling and of course down to the other side. Relax. Look across the opposite hand. And now bring that knee up towards the outstretched hand. Slide the legs back together, back up to the ceiling, and come back up to sitting. Right, so I want to do a side move next. Oh, somebody's sending me texts. So, a side move. Make sure you're in a straight line. To do that, I'm rolling my mat up, and it gives me a bit of extra padding on my knees. So, I'm upright. Take your hand down in line with your knees, and your other foot in line with your knees. If you're new to Pilates, you can simply find this as a nice stretch. So I'm bringing this over and stretching. So if from the side, we don't want bums stuck out, we need to be in a straight line. Core engaged, belly button to spine. Okay, but most of my clients, that's too easy. So they will be having their leg off the floor here, and then they'll be doing it up here. Foot's flexed, so you're getting a stretch all down the back of the leg. So we're going to do a few more of these. And then while we're here, we're going to draw some circles with that foot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. And now just have a rest in the middle. Child pose. And of course we've got to do the same on the other side. So, into your kneeling position, shoulders down and back. Leap of faith, taking the hand out to the side. And now bring that bum in so you're in a nice straight line. So let's just do some stretches first. And you can carry on doing the stretches, or if you're in my A-teams, here we are. Leaving that foot where it is, keeping it high. And again, it's important that you're not in a penknife position, you're in a nice straight line. Here. Lovely. Rest when you need to, but otherwise now we're going to draw a circle, 10 one way. And 10 the other way. It's a bit of a killer. Brilliant. And back into your child pose to have a rest. Okay, we're going to do an advanced move called the can-can. So I'll show you from the front. No, I'll show you from the side first. The main thing is we don't want to be like this. Chest proud, shoulders down and back. Knees to the ceiling, feet together. Taking the legs over to one side to the count of 1, 2, 3. And on 3, kick the leg. So from the front it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There's the basic level. If you find yourself going like this, maybe it's a bit too hard, leave your feet on the floor. But if you are finding that quite easy, as I know a lot of you are, you can actually take both feet off. This is an advanced move, so big pat on the back if you've cracked this. 2. And if this is still too easy, you can leave the feet off the floor the whole time. 1, 2. You really need to brace your core for this. But you choose your exercise. If this is too hard now, you go back to feet on the floor. Okay? So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I haven't got any weight really on my hands, so I'm not hurting my wrists. I could actually probably just go to fingers because I'm using my core to hold me upright. Rest when you need to. Got lots of messages, thank you. And wavies, people waving at me, thank you. So I hope you're feeling all okay and that none of you have got COVID or feeling ill with it. And I hope we're just a lockdown for 4 weeks. I'll be here for 4 weeks. Somehow the media are already saying it's going to be longer than 4 weeks, aren't they? I think they're just trying to depress us. It's not quite as nice inside as when we were outside in the summer. That was lovely. But we have to make the most of it, don't we? And we should be grateful that we can keep moving. Okay, I'll tell you what you need now. So what's happened now is these muscles down the front have kicked in, haven't they, to help. your body's very clever at finding help. So these will need a good old stretch off at the end. So once your stomach muscles started to tire, then these here kicked in. So to get over that, we're going to do shoulder bridge, because then in shoulder bridge we've got these out in a nice straight line. So arms down by your side, knees and feet hip distance apart. Inhale, pelvic tilt. Exhale, build it up to your, oh hello, up to your shoulder bridge. So this isn't shoulder bridge. See how I've got a shape here? Shoulder bridge is when you're in a nice straight line. Okay, and come back down. And this is your shoulder bridge. You choose your shoulder bridge. This is good. Squeezing my bum. I can stay up here. Squeezing, squeezing. I'm not pulsing. I'm staying here, squeezing my bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all the way back down. And back up. Squeezing my bum. And back down. So I'm giving it 10 squeezes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back down. And I meant to say, if anybody wants to add something to the exercise, you can have your arms up here, squeeze, 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 squeeze. But if you're losing your bridge because you brought the arms in, ditch the arms. Only add on the arms if you are able to keep your bridge. And back down, and back up again. We're adding all these things because some of my clients have been coming to me for years, and they're very advanced now. I'm very proud of them. And the good thing about doing it live like this is all my clients in Wales who weren't allowed to come out to my classes because they were on lockdown, hopefully they're here with me now. So it just shows you don't need a gym, you don't need fancy clothes, you need clothes that you can stretch in. You don't need equipment because you could just as easily do this with tins of beans, except this is Heinz tomato soup. So you don't need anything. And I'm only using the mat because it means I stay in the same place. Rest when you need to. And the rest for this is hugging both knees into the chest and rolling around. If you want to, keep going. I'm probably going to do 3 more, so this is 3. And this is 2. So when you're exercising, if you start to shake, like your thigh muscles now doing this, it's quite hard. If they start to shake, that's a good thing. That means you're really working up to failure. And just try one more. Okay, brilliant, well done. Fantastic. Now, put one leg into the chest and then the other, and roll around. So a really nice stretch now is, and I won't show you, is to have your knees up to the ceiling, feet together, and just relax your knees out to the side. You've just been using your inner thighs on that exercise. Now we'll just stretch them off. And bring them back together and stretch them off. And now if you want to, you can take your legs up to the ceiling one at a time and stretch them off. So we're going to do a back exercise now for your spine. I'll try and do everything. So, you see me okay? Got my arms outstretched in front, my legs outstretched behind. First thing I want to do is I'm going to lift my upper body, take my arms wide and back. So you notice I never bring my face up. So from the side, I keep my face looking at the floor. So you can carry on doing that, but some of my clients I know are doing top and bottom end. Each time you come up, imagine you have an ice cube under your tummy, which will make you switch on your core. When you, oh, sorry, oh. It's too cute. When you need to rest, you go into child pose. I wonder how much he'll grow by the end of lockdown. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more. Well done, if you're still with me. And we go back into child pose for that well-earned rest. And breathe. So my heart rate's gone up. This is the active rest. And then all we're going to do now are stretches. You've done all the hard work. So let's start with a stretch for the inner thighs. Nice stretch. So cross your legs, put your elbows, your hands on your knees and just press away. Hello. So this is stretching the hips here and the inner thighs. Now take one hand out to the side, other hand high to the ceiling and over. So now we're also stretching all down this side as well. Never go into pain. These stretches at the end are developmental stretches, and if you look from the side, I'm looking under my armpit. So in other words, I'm not here, I'm up here. They're developmental stretches, So that the muscles, as you're using muscles in those exercises, we've been contracting the muscles. Now we're going to lengthen them again, which is why people who do lots of Pilates as their main exercise, they don't have big bulky muscles. So cute. And come out of that one. Swap the legs over. Oh, this is too cute. Same again. Pressing down on the knees to start with. One hand out to the side, other hand up to the ceiling and over. So if your wrists were aching from that can and from the press-ups, snaking the wrists and the other way. And shake them off. Okay, we're going to stretch the legs and the bum now. So lying down on the floor, bring one leg tight into the chest, swirl the ankle round. Now you see how this this is tight on the floor. Off. I'm now going to bring my knee across the body, but leaving this bum on the floor. So I'm now getting a stretch in this bum here and all down the outside of the back. Oh, this is too cute. And relax and melt. And then push that knee back up to the ceiling, swap the legs over. So pull it tight into the chest, swirl the ankles round. And take it across the body, leaving that hip on the floor. Don't fall asleep. Lovely. Very nice stretch. And relax it off. Okay, we're going to stretch the shoulders. Okay, to stretch the shoulders, clasp the hands together, turn them inside out, take them as high as you can without any pain. And relax, honestly relax into it. So while we're here, you see my feet, if you can, flex your feet, bringing them up towards your knees. So now you're getting a good stretch down the calf and the hamstring at the same time. And I'm just going to lean forward, and when I say lean forward, we don't want to round the back because we don't get that switches off the hamstring stretch. What we want to do is hinge forward. So if you look, I still have a bit of an arch in my back. What that's doing is stretching my hamstrings. So you take it to a mild stretch and you hold it there. Don't force it. And you know, I said when you're doing an exercise, if your muscles shake, it means you're working really hard, which is good. But when you're stretching, it's really bad if your muscles are shaking. So if your muscles start to shake, come back a little bit. And relax out of it. Now take your hands behind and straighten your arms, pull your chest open and wide. And again, you can stretch the hamstrings, so flex your feet and lean forward. And if that isn't a good enough stretch for the chest, you can just lift the hands a little bit. But again, you never go into pain, you only go into mild tension. So I'm going to be here next week, same time, 6 o'clock, and on Facebook and on Instagram. And then I put it onto YouTube so that I can send it to anybody who wants it that isn't on Facebook or Instagram. And a lot of my clients aren't. Relax out of it. And if anybody feels they want to pay me, that would be really lovely if you just text me and I will send you my bank details. But no pressure. If you need a free Pilates class to make you feel better, that's absolutely fine. I'll see you next week and we'll see if I have company again. And thank you very, very much for coming. If you have any questions, message me, text me, anything. Lots of love. See you next week. Bye. Wave.